Hello everybody and welcome. Different stream tonight, different place. Come in, come in. Hi. So a couple of notes about tonight's stream. We are in a rather echoey room and we have our mic up here. And we have Piper on the floor.
Put the girls out.
Okay. And I don't have any audio, so if there's any likes, follows, subscriptions, all that sort of stuff, we'll do our best to keep on top of it with the chat that's on page, but we won't be able to hear your notification. So we do apologise if we don't get there straight away. But, hi and welcome. Tonight we're going to be doing some cooking. as you can see, we are in the kitchen. We're going to be making some bulk meals. We're doing spaghetti bolognese first, so we're going to be making the bolognese sauce, and we'll be doing a Mexican beef as well, which can be used in things like tacos, and beef and rice, that sort of thing. And yeah, that's, I guess, we'll be starting very shortly. We'll just wait for a couple of more viewers to pop in.
That's okay.
I see Mr. Vaping is here. Hello.
First rule of cooking, wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Especially now that I had to put the dogs out, so. Lila just really wants to be involved.
So please let us know about sounds, if it's too soft, if you can't hear our voices, that sort of thing. There's going to be a lot of background noise. I do have a bit of a gate going on, but it's not working. Confirming there is a lower half to Aussie. Yes, there is.
I know, right? We're not just magical like heads and torsos. Excuse me.
Yes, I need that too.
I know. Shall I get peeling the vegetables, perhaps?
Sure. If you can start on the carrot, please.
Okay, Mr. Master Chef. There.
Yes. We want the carrot to be finely grated. It's going to be secret veg.
Fantastic. In which case, I'll probably do this off the screen.
Axe Cannon, hello, welcome. We are making bolognese sauce for spaghetti, and we are also going to be doing a Mexican beef after that one. So fire's getting started on the vegetables.
I will be peeling this, but I won't be doing it here. I'll peel later.
Yes. There's one thing I forgot to get out.
Just watch me do this.
Slow cooker.
I don't actually see what's going on, but, you know. The excitingness of peeling a carrot.
Excitingness.
Excitingness. Very exciting. I'm peeling a carrot.
Wunderbar.
I mean, this is pretty much all I'm actually good for in the kitchen is peeling.
Question, my love. Have you seen the lid to the slow cooker at all?
It's a good question. It's definitely in there somewhere.
Okay. Excuse me while I bash around. Oh, there it is.
But how is everybody going out there? What are you up to, vaping, by the way?
Bag Bog and Mexican, indeed. Thank you, Axe Cannon, for the follow, and welcome. Welcome to the choir.
Yes.
Alright, so we'll go to the chopping focus. Alright, so, the onion. My least favourite vegetable to prepare. Excuse me a sec.
Aussie doesn't like to cry very often, okay? Oh, vaping, you're sick. That's no good, man.
Oh, that's terrible. Just a quick note. You always want a nice, sharp knife. When your knife is dull and you need to force, use more pressure, that's when you can potentially slip and serious injury. Remove your finger. So these knives are usually kept sharp, except for the tip on this one. Probably see, unfortunately, it did get dropped and I lost my tip. But using the steel, the best practice is about 15 degrees off the steel and moving it away from your hand. Now, when I first started doing this, I learned this way, and you can see there's nicks in the hand protector. So, best practices to keep yourself safe is moving it away. A light pressure on the steel. What this does is it restores the edge on your blade. So microscopically, if you look at your knife, when you use it, what happens is the edge starts to split and you get fingers come off the knife. So when you swipe, it brings those fingers back in line. Doesn't obviously keep your edge. That needs to be done with a stone edge. So if you are using the steel on too heavy of an angle, it's actually going to pull your edge off the knife a lot quicker. So all you need is a shallow angle and about a dozen swipes.
And yes, vaping he is very much on time.
Yes! Yes.
I don't know if you can actually see under there. There is a tie under there.
Alright. So, best way to chop your knife, in this case we're going to be doing a fine dice. Yes, yes.
Yes, Rosie, a fine dice.
A fine dice. So we chop our onion in half.
Probably just
Like
keep
that.
grating carrot in the background making a lot of noise too.
Yeah, it happens. Take off your top. So you've got two sections. Well, the bottom is where your I'm looking at way. So the bottom is where you get the roots, and the top is where you get your echalons growing. We want to keep the bottom on, and we want to keep this back part on. What that does is that keeps all the layers together while you chop it. Yes, but I have an apron, so no.
That's kind of the point of an apron.
Is it?
I mean, if he was wearing one that's only a little half one like me, then yes. But he's the one who's making spaghetti. I'm going to be making the taco mince, so I'm going to be the one who's going to have to watch out when we do that.
And for me, I really don't have a problem when I'm cooking it. It's when I'm eating it that I make a mess. So there's that. Alright, so we're just peeling the outer layer of the onion off, getting rid of that dark skin.
The Aussie's favourite time of chopping onions.
Oh god, yeah.
Waiting
The
for
only time I'm
this.
going to cry on camera. So apologies about that angle too. It was really hard to get a full room angle and also get
Yes.
get the close-up going. So for the moment, you're going to be seeing the top of my hat. Alright, so
I'm glad that I'm just the one like this and you can't actually see what's... I am grating carrot down here, I promise. I'm not doing anything sus. You can just see my arm.
Alright, so the technique here is we're cutting slices into the onion, like so, but we're not going all the way through to the back, so we're keeping the pieces together. And also when you're slicing, is you don't want to just push straight down, you want to use the length of the blade, so let the blade do the work and you're not going to force. We're doing some horizontal slits. Next we follow through in the 90 degree, and that will get us some nice diced onion. Obviously, it's a little funky, we're going to have to pull some pieces out. Flip her over. And then all we're left with is the root of the onion. Nice and quick. Want to reduce the amount of tears by using a nice sharp knife and do it nice and quickly.
Or you can just be like me, wear contact lenses and then never have to cry while chopping onions.
Wow.
For some reason, because I wear contact lenses, I never cry when I chop onions.
Which is good because you're wearing makeup.
Yes, exactly.
You don't want to be
No
crying.
one wants to see that. I'm not a pretty crier. Oh, my arms are so tired though from grating carrot.
Only one carrot. Imagine doing a whole bag.
It's not a very sharp grater, okay?
This is true. We are doing a fine grate. Another thing as well is you want to keep your fingertips out of the way. Thanks, Gannon. Oh dear.
Just you wait, man. Aussie will be crying in a minute. I can already see he's getting really red, so.
Alright. Onion nut. Sift through this, there was a few layers of hard skin on the inside, which is really weird. Hey ho, it happens.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, that looks pretty good. On to the plate. So, didn't do any pre-prep on this one. I figured, why not?
Ah, just hang out.
Yeah. You get to watch the whole process. Now, also also be showing off the technique with the garlic. So one option is, of course, using a garlic crusher, if I can find out. I never use it, so I have no idea where it is. There we go. There we go. So we've got a garlic crusher. You pop the garlic in, squeeze it through, at the other end. But with these, you do get a bit of the garlic left inside. So for me, that's wastage. That's good garlic that could be good. So, the squeak.
I don't know if you guys can hear that, but our dogs are really annoyed that they've been shut out of the kitchen, because normally they just get free roam of the house, but we didn't want them in here while we were doing this. So they've started playing with a squeaky toy out in the lounge room just to make us feel even worse about locking them out.
We want to be involved. Oh, that garlic's a bit.
We want to eat any of the things that fall onto the floor. Okay, so finely grated carrot. Do we need more than that? I reckon that's enough.
We've probably got another one, yeah.
We're getting another one. I've got this for peels too.
Have one here?
Ah, fantastic.
Yeah. So your animation proud moment? I know, it is fantastic. I love it. Alright, we both love our garlic, so I'm going to be using a lot of garlic. So at the moment I'm just peeling the garlic, give it a little press and the skin comes off a lot easier. More garlic the better? Yeah, I know, right?
Especially in this cold weather too.
Keeps the bugs away. Garlic and chili. So, Vaping, there's something for you, buddy.
Lemon tea.
You're not feeling well. One of the things that me and my dad do, when we're sick, or even just to keep the bugs away in the flu, we quite like our noodles, and I like my spicy noodles, but when I feel like I'm getting sick, I'll get 2 cloves of garlic, chop them up, the whole chili as well. That goes in with the noodles, whatever flavour you like. And eating very spicy Mexican. Yeah, that flushes it out. Keeps the vampires away. So we're just taking the butts off, the cloves. We don't want the nasty stuff. Now, if you're not comfortable doing little work with a big knife, you can use a smaller paring knife for this sort of thing as well. You want to slice quite thinly. Be careful. You're not going to be slicing a piece of finger. You don't want human protein in our food. Another thing you can do as well is use like a food processor. Kitchen whiz, that sort of thing.
Garlic is a little bit small for that though.
Can be. If you're doing a whole lot at once, so if you're making your own like crushed garlic, you can use kitchen whiz like we've got in the back there. And a little bit of salt and some olive oil in there with it when you whiz it all up. The other ones, the magic bullets, they're good for it too. So we're then making little strips of the garlic. You don't have to be precise with this. You just kind of want to strip it up. Now what I'm doing with my hands here, claw grip, so like this. So you're tucking your thumb out the way behind, and you use this as a guide for the blade to come across. And you have a slight angle, so you're not gonna affect yourself. Be careful of getting your thumb poked out there when you're doing these ones. Hang on, let me. Can't do it. One thing I did when I was in TAFE is my thumb creeped out and chop. Took off the tip of my thumb.
Idle Movement and Nanos Games. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome, Idle Movements and Nanos Games. Hello.
Boil it a bit or saute whole till some to smash. Yeah, that's another way you can do garlic.
Another favourite of mine is actually baking. Bob gives us fingernails as a guideline. This is true idle movements. Yes, hello and welcome to the choir. So this is a technique I learned in TAFE. So I have done some cooking courses when I was younger. I was working as apprentice chef for a couple of years. Didn't actually finish my apprenticeship. I moved interstate and the governance between the two different states, New South Wales was a lot better pay grade than in Queensland. So I went from earning around $600 a week to being offered $194 a week and living alone on $194 a week as an apprentice, not happening. Alright, so then we're doing like we did with the onions and we're coming back in the opposite direction and we're finally dicing this onion. Not onion, garlic.
Garlic. You already did the onion.
Yes, we're finally dicing the garlic. Now, I'm keeping an eye, otherwise I'd be addressing you like this. I want to make sure that I don't chop myself. I've been using this knife for quite a while.
And I'm trying not to take my skin off.
This is German steel. The brand is Primer. I quite like this one. It's got a good amount of weight. It's a nice heavy blade. Something I don't like about garlic is it sticks to you.
So good.
You don't have to be precise. We're just finely chopping. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. You can go a lot bigger. Then going to use a grinding agent. In this case, it's going to be some table salt and the flat of our blade. Brush. Click. That's sticking everywhere.
Alright. I think I better stop because my fingers are so cold from being in the kitchen.
You're not gonna know.
I'm not going to know if I actually cut myself.
Alright. So also remember guys, if you're doing this method, when you're seasoning your food, just remember that you've already used a little bit of table salt. I do like to use a mixture of the iodized table salt because you do need iodine in your diet. Also use some
plenty of carrot.
salt or pink salt. Himalayan salt is quite nice. Flat of our blade, we're pushing down onto the chopping board. Salt being a grinding agent is helping. I can't English. Helping to crush that garlic.
Lovely. I'm just going to quickly check on things, including our little monsters.
Sure.
No.
In this way we have very minimal wastage of the garlic. You're not having a whole bunch of bits and pieces stuck into your garlic crusher. I just pop that over there on the onion. We're actually getting really close to being ready to fire up the pot, I think. So in preparation, I have also started up the slow cooker. So with this method, I like to start cooking in a pot. That thing goes quite quick. And then I will pop it into the slow cooker on a low heat overnight for all those flavors to develop. I do prefer using fresh herbs, but unfortunately we did lose our entire harvest of herbs thanks to both the doggos and we had an early frost as well, so all of our plants died. Which is, yeah, oh well. So this is why we're doing a budget meal as well. The best thing for your budget would be homegrown. And the fresh herbs are more expensive as well at the shop. So we're going to go with just a mixed Italian blend from Master Foods. this one here. We'll be using that one. So I think I will fire up stove. Whoosha. Yeah, I'm now cooking with gas. Literally. Where is my remote control? I can get this one started.
No.
Where are you? There you are. Mic sound can go up a little?
Yep. Now I need to wash my hands again.
Okay. I won't do it there, I'll do it over here. Alright. I was just worried because we are peaking a little.
No, when you're standing there and talking to the camera, it's not very loud.
It's not very loud. Okay. Now we're cooking with gas, yeah. Alright, so that's heating up quite quickly. Good helping of extra virgin olive oil.
Now, what would you like the assistant to do?
The assistant?
Yep.
Do you want to start on anything that you need for the Mexican?
No, that's pretty much put
Same.
it all in the pot.
Pretty much the same thing. It's going to be onion, garlic
Onion,
chopping.
garlic.
Yeah, which is going to be me again, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. So in goes the onion and garlic.
Keep the bottom and tops of carrots and smashed tomatoes. Seed. One seed makes a sustainable life. Yes, indeed. Unfortunately for us, I think as Aussie's already been talking about, it's way too cold at the moment. Even for the winter crops, yeah, we would have to make sure that we cover it for the frost every morning, but we're a bit lazy.
Can you get the two of the diced tomatoes open, please?
I can do that.
So we're using home brand diced tomatoes.
Maybe that's a little easier. Ta-da! Diced tomatoes.
Again, ideally you want to use fresh. So we're cooking on a medium heat. We just want to start to what they call clarify the onions. So you don't want to be frying them to go brown, you want them to go clear. So if you do notice a browning, just turn your heat down a bit. I am smashing into the camera. Is that still?
No.
Yep, that's we're still good.
You want one or two?
Two open, please.
Two? Okay. Can do.
So if you're using fresh tomatoes, they're not going to be juicy enough. So you're going to want to use a stock. In this case, either a vegetable or a beef stock. But we're using the tin, so we've got plenty of liquid there. So for flavour development, I'm going to be using some of the powdered stock.
Fantastic. You want these now?
Not yet, no, just that was just in preparation, that's fine.
I'll just leave these babies here.
Yep,
How are we looking?
getting there. This bit isn't a fast process. Oh, that piece of onion is a bit big, but that's fine.
Indeed.
So this isn't a huge batch, we usually do double what we're doing tonight. Because we want to be able to do both the Mexican and the Bolognese, we're splitting our meat supplies in half. So we're going with just again, a home brand medium mince. One has 17% fat content. So we usually shop at Coles. So a bit of a, there we go, Coles mince. This should be about a kilo, I think. Is it a kilo?
Yep.
Yep, awesome. $9 for the kilo. So this is quite a cheap meal, and you'll get about 8 to 10 serves, depending on the size of your serves.
You want a drink, my love?
Oh, yes, please.
I'm going to open this wine.
Oh, yes, please.
You want some ice?
No, it'll be cold enough.
Okay.
And some water as well, actually, if I could. My bottle's just by the kettle.
Tonight, we shall be drinking some gossip, sweet lips.
All right, so
Cheap,
that's
but You're right?
Yeah, that's starting to clarify now. Oh, where are we? There. So you're getting a colour change and they're starting to go clear. So they're going yellowish, which is fine. We don't want a heavy brown. And this is at the point where I will add some of the herbs. Good helping of the herbs.
Use my muscles.
The light frying helps to bring the flavours out quickly, so this is a good thing to do if you're not going to be slow cooking. It helps to moisten those dry herbs and bring the flavours out just that little bit quicker.
Lovely. Wine time.
Look, I said before we went no whining, okay?
But I like whining and dining.
Alright, up next is going to be our mince. Fire has it sorted. Keep on. Ah, yeah. Sustainable life. Very good. Alright, so at this point I like to get my hands dirty. Separating the mince a little bit as it goes in. We're looking like food is cooking.
Good. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. I'm just going to stand over here and do nothing. Vaping. How was your sleep? Did you go to sleep last night? After you left? Was it a good sleep? Go for some crackers too, actually.
Crackers?
I know that was crackers.
Ah, crackers.
I know that we're supposed to be having dinner very shortly, but I need some biscuits to go with my wine.
Yes, well you
Good
haven't.
old jats.
We don't want you falling over drunk live on camera.
Cheers. I don't think so.
I know I get a bit giddy, I think, after one glass. I very rarely drink anymore. How's volume going, guys? Can you hear us clear enough when we're talking?
Okay.
Alright, so now that we've got some more content in the pot, we're just going to up that heat a little bit.
Oh, my hands are so cold. Actually, I'm going to check the temperature. Just 13 degrees. Oh, look at these babies. Well, I don't have to touch anything for a while, so... You want to come in and say hi to everybody? Start knocking the daddy. Yeah, Oscar. You want to say hi? Can you look this way? Maybe if I stand here and you turn around. Can you look this way? Come here. Come here. You're good babies.
It's a family affair in the Nelson kitchen.
It is. You're a good girl. Lila, you want to show everyone how tall you are? Pop up. Pop up. Not under the apron, baby. Big girl, aren't you? Yes, you are. Your mummy's big girl. Alright. Yeah. You want to sit? Sit. If I can show you guys her new trick that she's learning. Shake. Shake. Oh, Rosie's like, I know that one. I don't have food, so you don't want to do it, do you?
I can't, baby, I'm sorry.
Yep. Sit. Oh, Rosie, shake. Good girl. Now, other side. Other side, sweetie. They just want attention, don't you? You just want cuddles. You're a good girl. Yes.
Alright, so as we're not doing spaghetti meatballs, we want to keep the mince moving as it's starting to brown.
Alright, now I'm going to wash my hands again. Come on, girls. Time to go out.
So I like a nice smooth bolognese.
We should have kept a count. How many times does Flyer have to wash her hands? throughout the stream. I think this is like the third time already. How are we looking?
Good, good. Nearly ready for those tomatoes. You don't want to add them too soon. You want to get most of the mince ground up. It affects the texture of the final product if you don't brown the mince off first.
Vaping, you are a terrible mod.
You're muted! No, I'm not!
Just click to Owie Owie Oxenfree is. Do tell. Oh, guys, meet your wifey pants. Oh, wow, well done.
What's that?
Oh dear. Vaping's wifey. Ellie. That's who Owie Owie Oxenfree is.
He's lucky he's fun.
Oh dear.
Welcome.
Oh,
Nice to finally meet you. Cheers.
Yes, vaping is an interesting but wonderful human being, we have learned. Oh dear. Your household just must be a laugh, an absolute hoot.
Oh, yeah. So, if you ever come this way, or if we ever plan on coming that way, I'm sure we can get up to all sorts of shenanigans. Alright, so in goes the crushed tomatoes. They don't have to be crushed, you can get whole peeled or fresh.
Sounds like a plan, yes. Oh dear. No, vaping is awesome. And by the way, after we do our dinner stream, we'll probably go and do some gaming stream stuff. So no more of this keeping it PG, no swearing business, or at least on my stream.
Yeah.
Probably for hubby's stream.
So yeah, just a reminder, you've probably seen the time going off there with chatbot saying so. We are currently live to Twitch, where you're watching, also YouTube, and Facebook. Yeah. So hello to friends and family watching this now and in the future.
Indeed.
Cheers. I'm now giving my secrets away from my Bolognese sauce. Alright, so lots of tomato. Some juicy goodness.
Right, is there anything else you need me for?
Not at this point, my love.
Okay, I might sit back and relax then.
You do so.
I'll be back.
Tomato goes in, heat goes up. That's a kilo of mince, one large onion, 5, I think it was 5 this time. 5 cloves of garlic. A generous helping of Italian herbs. More in. Just doesn't quite smell right. There you go. Some cracked pepper. Coming up, very, very good. Lid on. What else do we need? Oh, the carrot. Nearly forgot the carrot. So, mums and dads, if you have kiddies, this is the perfect time to add your secret veg, and this is a perfect meal. I know, as a kid, I loved spaghetti bolognese, and I never knew at the time that there was secret veg. One thing we use almost all the time is carrot. It helps with the flavor profile. But you can add things as well that don't have a lot of flavor, like zucchini and eggplant and other low flavor, or even a particular flavour influence you want, like you can put some mushrooms in as long as there's no allergies. That gives it a nice depth, like a meaty depth to it as well. We don't have any mushrooms today, so I won't be adding them in. So lots of secret veg. It's really, really good for the kids. And also the adults that don't really like their veg. I do know a few meat and potato men. One of them absolutely adores my Bolognese. Alright, in they go. But the secret veg is to make sure that it's chopped down nice and small. So if you're opting to dice, then you want no bigger than 5mm cubes. Otherwise, a good way is grating, using a fine grate for all the veggies. Yeah, zucchini, eggplant, carrot, what else is really good? Mushroom. There's ones that I have used, but you can see them, like broccoli. So you shave off the top of the broccoli, so you just get the beads, the buds. So shave that down as small as you can, and then the longer you cook it, the more that vegetable will break down and become virtually invisible. Another good one for the flavour profile, you don't want to use too much because it does have a strong sharp flavour, is celery. But you can always mask it with more garlic and more herb. Alright, so we've got our herbs in, we've got our secret veg, we've got the meat, we've got the tomato, we've got the onions, we've got the garlic. What else do we need? Need some bay leaves. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sure, why not? Some bay leaves. Then we add our stock cubes. So I'm using the OXO brand. We're using one beef and one chicken. Turn that one down. With these, instead of trying to break them up, take them out. Bits of pressure. The chicken ones are always really dense. I'm going to have to do that outside. Beef is really good. You can just squish. Don't squish too hard or you break the packet. Once she's all squished, throw her off corner, and she comes as powder. If you don't have a slow cooker and you're going to continue with this one, you want to put it on a really, really low heat, lid on, and let it develop, stirring every 15 to 20 minutes. You want it to develop for a good 2 to 3 hours. Lowest heat you can, and it also helps to have a nice thick bottom pot. The thicker bottom pot, the more that heat will spread away from the central flame and be a more even heat along the bottom of the pot, and it'll be less likely to burn. Our big pot that we use for stocks and for the pasta is a very thin bottom, and it tends to burn in the middle when you're doing this style of cooking. But yeah, thicker the base the better, and nice slow heat, lid on, 4 hours, stirring every 15 to 20 minutes. When you see the sauce stick to the side stir, also true. Yes, definitely. Our chicken stock cube is still whole. It's very, very solid.
It's starting to smell good. I just wanted to say a big hello to Shana, who I know is watching on Facebook. We can't actually see your comments when we're out here cooking in the kitchen, But I know you're watching because I've got it open on my computer on Facebook, so hello!
Hi, Shana!
And hello to anyone else who is watching on Facebook Land or any of the other platforms that we're streaming to. Jeez, that's a bit bright actually. I'm looking very pale and white.
Do you want to turn the backlight down?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, hello doggos, you weren't supposed to come in with me.
They're okay.
Yay, I don't look like a ghost. I still kind of look like a ghost, but you get the idea.
Alright, and the last ingredient that we're going to add for now is the tomato paste. This helps to give the tomato more depth and also to slightly thicken the sauce.
Hi Blackstar, how you going?
Oh, Blackstar, g'day!
Right,
Good to see you.
Out. Out.
I'm struggling with this lid. Oh my goodness. Legos, what are you doing to me? Can run with a home brand, but I try and not skimp when it comes to the tomato paste. I find that like the home brand stuff can be not as strong on the flavour. So I find you need to use more. So getting a good quality tomato paste goes a long way to the flavour development of your sauce. We're going to use a whole tub and then see how that goes. As a cook, it's very important to taste as you go. So it's one thing to follow a recipe. Once it's at a safe point where the food is cooked, and then all you have to do is develop the flavour, is to start tasting. So a recipe might say, what's this? This is 140 grams. The recipe might say 100 grams tomato paste. But you find that because of the brand you've used is different to the recipe, or there might be something with the batch, or even your own taste buds, give it a taste, put a bit more in. Or use a little bit less than what the recipe says if you're sensitive to strong flavours, and add a little more, add a little more, add a little more, and then let it sit and develop. Time is another factor as well with your flavour. As time goes on, it will change. So don't add too much too soon. Give things time, the flavours to draw out. Fine. Alright, so I think that's pretty much everything. A little bit of Himalayan salt.
Another little tip too with flavours is when you're making a recipe for the first time, yes, it is good to stick to the recipe, but after you've added in all your ingredients, give it a little while. If it's something that can sit and simmer for a while, probably give it 20 minutes, half an hour to simmer, and then taste it. And if you don't think it's right, then just keep adding stuff until you think it is okay. So cooking is an art, not a science. Add whatever you think is going to taste good in there.
I very rarely measure. It's a bit of that, a little bit of this.
Yeah.
A spoon, a cup, a bowl, then a fork and knife. You see this? Oh, it helps to distribute the heat evenly, yes. Alright, so another tip as well with when you're cooking with tomatoes, you don't need to add a lot, but a little bit of sugar, it helps to reduce the acidity.
Okay.
So it's cooking is a science, but it is also an art form.
It's mostly an art form.
Yeah. So I'm using some raw sugar, and it will also over time start to caramelize as well. And that's that.
So, how much of this pasta are we using?
We won't be, actually, I just realised we probably won't be cooking the pasta tonight unless we're going to be eating the bolognese, because this will then go into the slow cooker.
I don't know, I reckon we can probably have a little bit of bolognese for dinner, because otherwise what are we going to have?
True. Alright, so that's it. To recap, we've got a kilo of mince, a large onion, 4 to 5 cloves of garlic. So that would do, depending on the size of the cloves, 3 to 4 teaspoons. We've got a pinch of salt, 2 pinches of salt, a good helping of cracked pepper. We have Italian herbs, we have bay leaves, some secret veg, in this case we use some carrot. What else? And some stock. Now we just let that sit, let the flavour develop. I'm going to transfer that over into the slow cooker, and that's going to be running overnight. So it's going to stay on the stove for a little bit. Go into the slow cooker and it will be on low heat overnight for those flavours. Last cooked, I haven't tried it yet.
Ooh, what is it?
Dell. Clean up this mess.
Oh, maybe another thing you can answer is, so we cooked a kilo of mince. How much spaghetti would you normally do to serve that up? So we've got 500 gram packets here.
Okay, so in this case, the 1 kilo was good for a family pack of spaghetti, which is I think about 750 grams. So you would use 1.5 spaghetti with the kilo of mince, roughly. It depends on how.
So this is the spaghetti we're talking about.
Yeah, so we're using the San Remo.
That's a 500 gram packet.
Yeah.
So 1.5 of these for the amount of mince that we just cooked.
I quite like a heavier sauce to spaghetti ratio, but
So
you can use 2 packets. Just means it won't be as saucy. In that case, you want to develop the flavours over a longer period of time, so the sauce is more concentrated. Probably need to add some liquid stock as well, so it doesn't get dry.
Yes. So, I don't know if we're going to be cooking the pasta tonight, but maybe give a rundown on how you normally cook pasta.
Sure. For that amount of pasta, I would use quite a large pot, similar to the size that we're using for the sauce. You want a good amount of room for this pasta to move around in the water while it boils, otherwise it will clump and stick together. So you would get your water on the heat, on the boil, add some olive oil and some salt. The salt is just for flavour. In that case, instead of using your Himalayan salt, usually save that for when it's on the plate. You would use table salt, which is iodized, so you get some of that fire. Not a lot of people using the table salt and use mostly like the rock salt, the sea salt, the Himalayan, all that sort of stuff, are lacking that iodine in their diet and tend to roughen.
Yeah. It's one of the few places that you actually get iodine in your diet these days is from iodized table salt. So don't think that all the fancy salts are all that. You probably should just be sticking to iodized table salt for most of your meals.
Yeah, so I would use that in the cooking side of things, and then have your rock salts on your table for when you're adding more salt to your own taste.
For presentation.
Yeah, presentation. You can use the whole salts, but I like it as a flavour. I like a lot of salt, so in my mind, using the rock salt or the sea salt is a little more healthier. So.
Well, no.
Just a pinch, like a chip. Yeah, I don't use a pinch, I use a handful. So I need to remember whenever I cook that I need to be very light on the salt to my own palate, because not everyone likes things as salty as I do.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Black Star says, if I start to your house now, I can get there by the time it's done. Well...
Actually, you probably could. This is going to develop over the next 12 hours.
Yeah.
So, oh no, how long's the flight? It's about 18 hours. We're going to have plenty left over anyway. So that's fine.
Exactly.
Right, so one thing that...
salt comes from the reduction.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
So you'll get the natural salts coming out of the food as it reduces. So the longer you cook something, the more moisture gets cooked out of it. So the thicker that in this case, sauce will be, and the stronger the flavours. Don't want to overcook it. As you can start to see here, while we're cooking it, we're getting the fat coming out of the mince. The fat is starting to clarify, liquefy. It's coming out of the mince, as well as the olive oil that I put in to start. Once you're getting close to the serving point, so you want to let the meat settle on a low heat. Around the edges and around the top, that oil will start to float on the surface. About an hour before you're ready to serve, what you would do is start to skim that fat out, so reducing the fat content of the meal and making it more healthy.
Yes. And also, hello, Steve. And yeah, we definitely wouldn't be eating that for breakfast, no. It'll be ready in time for breakfast. It'll be at its most flavoursome.
Yes. One thing I do like to add in my bolognese is just a pinch, a very small pinch of powder. That little bit of zing on top of the black pepper.
And also, how are you going, Steve? It's been a while. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, it's been a very long time.
$50 to put 2 cups of vinegar in it? Ness! No! How dare you?
While we're on the subject of food and also not feeling well, this one's for you, Vaping. This is a remedy that an old friend of mine showed me. He's developed it in time. So it's 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, a good healthy portion of fresh, finely grated ginger. If you can stomach it, because this is a drink, if you can stomach as well, a bit of garlic. So you want to use a little bit of garlic, because otherwise it can overpower the flavour. 2 to 3 teaspoons of Manuka honey, and some hot water to make it into a drink. You can also add a little bit of lemon as well. That helps. That gives you the vitamin C. And consume. And yeah, a couple of days. That tonic 3 to 5 times a day. It's really good if you're phlegmy as well. It helps to break the phlegm up in the back of your throat, and you can talk and feel a lot better. But yeah.
I stopped listening after apple cider vinegar. No, I'd rather be sick than have to drink that 3 to 5 times a day. No, thank you. Is drink the correct term?
Yes. So it's like a variation of like a honey lemon drink with some extra goodies in there. But the ginger and the garlic is really helpful.
Oh dear.
Oof, that'll kill one energy. Indeed, yeah. I mean, if you really want to, you can add some whiskey. That's also good.
Not vodka though. 3 to 5 times, I know, right, vaping? It's just no thank you. I'd rather be sick than drink that. That would make me physically ill.
When you make it, it's only, depending on how much hot water you add, but it's like a small tea. Russia? Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
How are we going?
Good. I think we're going to add that now to the slow cooker, which is preheated.
Fantastic.
Then we can start on the Mexican.
Yeah. Which means you're going to need to wash that pot.
Yes, indeed.
And finally, Firelady gets to be of more use than just peeling vegetables and grating carrot.
Oh well. We'll risk it for a biscuit. It might... Oh, that's going to stick. Sorry guys, I'm going to be moving this camera. Into the cooking spray.
Maybe roast or fry the garlic and boil the ginger. Yeah. Honestly, anything that has vinegar, whether it be normal white vinegar or apple cider vinegar, anything with that in it is just a no from me. I would rather be sick. I couldn't do it.
That's a no, Captain.
No. Roasted garlic is great? Yes. Yes, it is. anything with garlic or onions or anything like that is just, absolutely love. Fantastic. All right. Well, in that case, actually I still can't do anything because you have to do the onion and garlic.
Apparently.
Yes.
Apparently I do.
Because I'm terrible at that. So, we are going to, ooh, that feels a little, maybe it's just, no, that feels a little squishy. Let's forget about this guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that onion's squishy.
That's the last 2 onions that we have.
Yeah, this one's alright. Yeah, I don't know, that other one was squishy. Anyways, don't use squishy onions, kids. Yeah. I can't talk. No, it's not the wine. I just can't talk. Right, fantastic. So,
Bring this off the spoon.
if we're going to get started on the
Sound
next
hot.
minute, we are going to add probably yay. Amount of garlic. 1 decently sliced onion, which of course Aussie will be chopping again because I don't do chopping of onions or garlic. Actually, garlic I can do, onion I just don't like to do. I'm terrible. I should be doing a little bit of cleaning up.
If you wouldn't mind, that would be great.
Yes. Have a container for your skins and you still put them on the table.
I did. I'm terrible. I'm a very messy cook.
Right, fantastic.
Oh, that camera is not straight. Why did I move it?
You don't have a problem with vampires around your house, do you? No! I mean, technically it feels like we're both vampires because we're up until all hours. Yeah.
I never go outside.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, me.
Shy away from the sun.
If I don't have to, I won't. The stovetop is very clean for a mess cook. That's because he cleaned it the other day because we had visitors, so...
Oh, we had an inspection.
Yeah, we had an inspection. Well, you could hardly call it inspection. They didn't even come into the kitchen, so I would classify it as visitors, right?
True. So the owners came to visit. We don't go through a real estate. We have a private agreement with the owners, which is amazing.
Yes, they are very lovely people. So.
Indeed.
Yes, and it's not like we trashed the place anyway, so...
Try not to.
Moved the sandblasting equipment very quickly. Oh dear.
No, it's not sand blasting, it's sound blasting, and that's no good. It's squishy.
Oh, I didn't feel it.
Don't use squishy ingredients, kids.
No.
All rules null and void. Alright, so same process. First.
So,
Oh dear.
we have made the bolognese. No.
That's a bad onion. Yeah.
If you take the outer layers off, the inside should be alright. It probably won't be enough onion, but...
No, she's no good. It's all the way through.
Is it?
Yeah.
Aga. Oh.
Oh.
Oh, I think we have a red onion.
That'll do. That'll work. Where was that squishy one? Let me have a look. Oh, that, I see what you mean by squishy.
It was squishy.
Yeah, your finger goes through it. That's... Ugh.
It was very squishy. Right, it's only half, but it is better than absolutely nothing.
It's a little more than half. Oh. Who chopped that?
Mum.
Oh god, she went the wrong way.
I know. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Right, so we have finished the bolognese sauce, and that is going to cook in the slow cooker. Slow cooker for a while. And now we're going to move on to doing the spicy Mexican mince. Now, normally we would like to use fresh chilies with this, but we didn't exactly plan ahead. Otherwise, we probably would have had some non-squishy onions as well. But we didn't plan this out very well, so we don't have fresh onion. We're just going to be using chili powder today.
Fresh chilies, you mean? We have fresh onion.
Did I say onion? I meant to say chilies. We're going to be using chili powder in place of fresh chilies. And we should have been using brown onion and a full one, but yeah, squishy onions. So we're going to make do with half a red onion, or a little bit more than half a red onion. So that and 3 cloves of garlic. Just roughly chop the onion and then finely chop the garlic. And then we're going to be using a kilo of beef mince again, so very similar to the spaghetti bolognese. Just using another kilo of beef mince. So that'll be going into the pot.
A variation on the recipe, if you are a fan of the slow cooker, is you can use like a shoulder or a rump beef roast. All same ingredients, just done in the slow cooker, apart from the mince, of course.
And for about 8 to 12 hours. The longer the better.
And just like pulled pork, you will end up with a nice stringy. I actually prefer that over the mince, but we're going for budget meals. It's about twice the cost.
I like the mince.
Yeah.
Because it stays very moist. Sometimes, when you, even in the slow cooker, sometimes if you just have a shoulder of beef, it can get quite dry.
Yeah.
Especially, it may be nice just fresh out of the slow cooker, but once you portioned it out and you put it into the freezer and then you have it again, when you heat it up, it can get quite dry.
Yeah, in that case, the secret is to have some stock on hand.
Yes.
And you add some stock into the mix before you.
But that's not always possible if you're taking a freezer meal. Like, for instance, and you redo it at work, you're not exactly going to have stock on hand.
Yeah.
So mince can be better in that regard because it stays a little bit more.
I mean, you can plan ahead and add some extra stock when you're portioning. So you stock to the whole mix and then portion. So it's a bit wetter when it goes in. What I like is cooking is an international art form. It sounds delicious.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Fantastic.
So the bolognese that I just did was actually a recipe that's been handed down from grandmother to my mother to me. Well, I mean, as it's been handed down, you know, like Mum put her own variations on, I put my own variations on.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That's where it's got its origin. Alright.
Going a bit quicker this time. I'm not really worrying too much about talking through how I'm doing it. I did this before. Lined up.
I'm going to go and investigate which spices we have. So,
It's space you need to buy up there.
I'm going to be
Aussie
cheating.
Fire, you can increase the sensitivity near the bench for the mic. Yeah.
So
The mic's actually behind me.
that's the problem at the moment. The mic is behind. Darvo, thank you so much for the host. Hello, hello. Hello and welcome to the new viewers. How are we doing out there? We've just finished cooking one meal and we're moving on to the next one. Just finished making spaghetti bolognese sauce, and now we are going to be, which was Aussie, using a family recipe. And now we're going to be moving on to making some spicy taco mince to have in tacos or burritos, whichever takes fancy.
You can also have it with rice. It's really nice with rice.
Yeah.
It is nice with rice.
Now I'm terrible. I'm cheating. I'm actually going to be using some spice packets to help this along rather than go from scratch. Because if I went from scratch, I would probably have to use about seven different things. Hello from Malaysia. I'm good, thanks. Good. Nice to hear. Hello, hello.
Welcome to the choir.
Were you streaming before? Were you playing something or cooking something? Oh, it's fasting month, so I have to watch a lot of recipes to eat delicious food.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you missed the really good part because Aussie made everything from scratch, and now I'm just coming in with a bit of cheaty and using some pre-made spice packets. So, but if you were going to be doing this from scratch, you would be using paprika, cumin, coriander. What else?
Read the packet.
Peppercorns. What does the packet use?
Chili.
Pretty much all the same things that I use.
Oh, that's right.
Oregano, that's the one I can think of.
We're out of paprika.
And chili. Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, we have no paprika.
Well, that's okay because
The last time I made our chicken salad, we didn't have the paprika.
that's okay. I might use a little bit extra. I might use some harissa in there as well. That's so we're going to be using a whole bunch of different things. But
In she goes.
it's cooking. It's an art form. Use whatever you think tastes good. I honestly sometimes I just put whatever I have in the bowl or in the pot, and yeah, which is how I like to cook. Just throw a couple of things together. So I think for this one we're going to be using a kilo of mince. As you can see, Aussie is browning the onion and the garlic. So when he's done that, we're going to be chucking the mince in, and we're going to be chucking in these spice packets. Now I've got 2 of the old El Paso burrito spice packets. Now these only say to use 1 for 800 grams of meat, but honestly, the more spice, the better, in my opinion. When you only use 1 packet, I find it doesn't really have a lot of flavour at all, because you're not really stewing this over a long period of time. I mean, you can, and we are going to be using mince and have it quite wet, so we can. But usually you would do this in quite a dry mix, and you wouldn't be cooking it for that long. So I find that 1 packet doesn't really add a lot of flavour. So we're going to use 2 of these guys, and then I don't know. I did have another couple of pre-packet mixes, but I think I might add in a bit of cumin, some harissa. I think we've got some coriander.
Coriander seed, yeah.
Yeah. Alright, fantastic. So we're going to be using the 2 pre-made spice packets, and then we're going to be putting in some cumin, coriander, and harissa. Now work that spoon, Aussie, yeah!
Bloody workout, I'll tell you what.
Steve's jealous of the gas cooktop. You have an old induction one? Ooh. Yeah, no. I think gas. After having a gas stove, I don't think we could ever have anything else, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you can make it work. It's planning ahead with your temperature changes when you're using induction and electric.
Yeah.
Whereas gas is instant, so when you want to cool it down instantly, heat's gone.
And by induction, I meant electric and not induction.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a difference between those as well, because I think you would find that induction would probably, you'd like induction a little bit more than having electric. Electric, you can definitely notice that that lag in how long it takes for things to cool down once you make a change.
The downside with induction is you need to have specific cookware. It's not something that you can just buy any old pan for.
Absolutely, but it is probably in between electric and gas.
Yeah, it is definitely better than just a plain old electric.
Absolutely.
But it's a lot more expensive because of the cookware that you have to buy for it.
And for anyone who doesn't know, if you don't use the correct cookware with induction, you'll basically fry your cooktop.
Yeah.
Where?
Which we know someone that's done that.
Yeah.
We won't name drop.
Vaping, you're going to go to bed, you feel terrible. Oh, no worries, man. Well, thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us tonight. It was fun. You take care, man. You have a good rest. I hope you feel better. Right, I don't know where the scissors are gone, so I'm just going to cut these open with a knife and hope that I don't slip and cut myself.
Scissors are right here, love.
I'm terrible for that. Oh, thank you. See them. Alright. How's it looking over there?
Good, good. We can add the spice?
Yep. Alright, about 50% of the mince is brown, so we want to put the spice in now.
In she goes.
Bit bigger.
With this one too, the spices can clump, so you want to add just a little bit of moisture, preferably stock to keep your flavour profile high, but we can just use a little bit of water.
Of course, I managed to do that.
I'm usually the messy cook.
Oh, well, I'm giving you a run for your money on camera. Something can go wrong, it will go wrong with me. Alright.
Well, you never work with children or animals.
Oh, which am I? A child or an animal?
Bit of both.
Aww.
It depends.
That's good to know. Oh dear.
I mean, we're perfect for each other. We're both.
Hello, Commander Bernardo. That was poor health and safety, handing over those scissors point first. Should we get on to HR about that? I know, right? He's supposed to be the professional chef. I'm just the assistant here, so... Alright.
At least they weren't open.
I mean, still. So we've put in our 2 spice packets, and now we are going to... Oh, and it's a brand new packet of coriander, so I've got to take the plastic off. Alright, so we're going to put in some coriander, and I think we have an open cumin already.
Yep, cumin seeds right there.
Yeah, we do. Fantastic. Alright, lovely. So, we are going to be using...
And also one thing that I've been doing secretly is also adding some stock cubes to the mix.
Yes.
So now you know, honey, I've been putting stock cubes in your Mexican.
Implying in a real kitchen, people don't know. What? Implying in a real kitchen, people don't throw all kinds of things at each other anyways? Absolutely. So what's the worst thing that's ever been thrown at you in a kitchen?
That would be a searing hot pan full of oil.
Was there a reason for that?
A very temperamental Italian head chef.
Oh, okay. Alright, so I'm just going to go willy-nilly. This is how I like to cook, and that's nearly... Okay, so it's not a science, there is no measuring here, it's just, it looks right to me. That's what I do. Oh, this
and
one's...
smell too, you got to go by the
Yes.
by the smell.
And where's the chili?
It's over there.
I forgot that one. Alright, a little bit of harissa, just cause. Yes, just cause.
I think the harissa has mint in it, doesn't it?
Yes it does. So harissa is paprika, coriander, garlic, mint, caraway, cumin, sugar,
Caraway,
and chili.
that's it. Yeah.
Alright, where is our chili? So
once again, because we're going to be adding some tomato, I'm going to add the sugar now.
Yeah, and it is nearly done, so we are just going to add the whole thing and finish off the jar. We like a lot of spice in our household, so this is totally fine. You guys might, I don't know what your spice tolerance is, but you might want to
Steve, you had that happen to you as well?
be a bit more light-handed.
Yeah.
So as we did say before, we don't have any fresh chili, unfortunately. We didn't plan that far ahead, so we're just using chili powder. But the trick is with fresh chili, taste it first. If it's a super, super hot chili, cut it into thin, very thin slices and just add like 1 or 2 slices at a time. Let the mix cook for about 5 to 10 minutes and then taste it. If you think it needs more, then keep going, keep doing that process.
Yeah, and for those new to chili as well, the majority of the heat is actually in the seeds. So if it's a super hot chili, take the seeds out, put the flesh in, and then let that develop for a good while first before you start to add some of the seeds to give it more heat.
So can you describe what type of mince you're using? So we're just using 1 kilogram of Coles home brand beef mince.
It's just
regular mince. It doesn't have anything added. It doesn't have anything taken out.
So it says here, Australian beef mince, regular, 3-star, and it's 17% fat.
Yeah, it's not reduced fat or reduced salt or any of those, and it doesn't have anything added to it. Just plain old beef mince.
Now, that consistency is actually looking pretty good. Do you usually put 2 cans?
So for a 1 kilo mix, I usually use 1 and then give it a stir around and see how it looks.
Looking pretty
so that's
close.
1.
That's 1.
Yeah, I would just leave that.
Do you want any paste in there?
Kidney beans. Yes.
Yep.
1
sachet. So for the bolognese, we used the tub, which was 140 grams, I think it was. These sachets are 3, and the whole lot is 200 grams.
And we're also going to, now you guys can put any kind of beans in there you like. I like kidney beans.
Oh, no, sorry, there's 4. So that's 50 grams a sachet.
Yes. I just like to use normal kidney beans. I know for the Mexican, you should probably use black beans or something else like that, but I like kidney beans and they taste fine to me, so that's what I like to use.
Now, do you usually strain and then rinse the beans before you add them?
Now, I don't rinse them, but I do strain them. Oh boy, she's a really gelatinous mix today.
Yeah.
Maybe I will be rinsing these. I don't normally, but normally they're not this gelatinous.
In comes the strainer.
Yes, I think so.
Check the date. Could be not that.
No, they shouldn't. Cans don't usually...
Oh no, they usually last for
Cans
years.
last forever. Oh, you're kidding me. This has a best before. Wow, well done. Good thing that you checked. The best before was December last year. Where did these ones come from?
Okay, so here's the thing with used by and best before. Used by means it could be dangerous after that date. The bacteria or build up, or the food could just go off. Best before means that its flavour will be reduced, so it's not going to be as intended after that date.
I have a feeling, because I don't normally buy Edgel either, I have a feeling Mum brought these over.
They could have been in your mum's cupboard, yeah.
I know.
So with something that's a best before, it can still be usable.
Oh, I know, but...
If it's canned...
Considering how gelatinous it is...
If it's canned, what you want to do is check the inside of the can. Check the quality of the inside of the can. Where are we? Where's the can? So at the moment there's some residue in there, so we'll rinse that out and make sure that it's not rusted. If that has rusted on the inside, then we're going to have to say no bueno.
Oops, I'm getting in front of the camera.
So this one is the one that's in date and the can is healthy. Looks good. There's just more residue in there from the bean. So we'll rinse that one out. We'll definitely use this lot.
Alright. How are we doing?
I will now check these other ones to see if they are usable. No, they don't smell good.
Okay.
They are definitely not good.
Oh, that's what we get for not planning ahead a bit more. Oh well. Normally for 1 kilo of mince, I would usually use 2 of the cans.
Mind you, that can looks fine.
I wouldn't, they're very gelatinous, I wouldn't worry about it. So for 1 kilo of beef mince, I'd normally use 2 400-gram cans of kidney beans. But you guys can use whatever beans you like. If you prefer Mexican black beans, that's probably more to your style. Alright. Right, so she's not as beany as I would like. But that is pretty much it. Now you just let this reduce until it's a little bit drier. It's currently quite wet. Don't necessarily want that for your tacos or your burritos because it will make the shells or your wraps quite wet as well and everything will just fall out the bottom. So now we wait and we let that reduce. And there you have it. That didn't take very long at all, did it?
No, that was a quick one. What I like to do when reducing this is to actually reduce it with the lid on. That way it slows the reduction down and helps the flavours develop a bit quicker.
Yeah. I don't mind. When I use that much spice, it doesn't really need to take that much time.
So because we don't need a high heat anymore, I'm going to be switching to the back plate.
Why does this mean you don't like black beans? I mean, I don't really mind. You can use whatever you like. I like kidney beans.
Another good thing you can do as well is a mix. So have some.
Yeah, I've done that before. So yes, it's just like cheese, more smell, more flavour, right?
No, with this one they had a almost like a vinegary smell. They're not supposed to.
No.
But they'd started to.
So normally when you open a can of beans and you go to pour the juice into the sink, it should run out with a consistency a little heavier than water. That was like jelly trying to come out of there. That's no good. You don't want that.
Alright, awesome. That's done.
I think that's it, yeah. We don't really have anything more, so I hope you guys have enjoyed. This has been something really different for us. We've obviously learned a few lessons about making sure that our produce, we knew that we had stuff, but we didn't know if it was still good or not, so.
Yeah, next time check we have all fresh ingredients.
Check the onions aren't squishy.
It's like, yep, we got onions in there, we're fine. Yep. Oh look, there's cans of beans, we didn't check the date.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh.
These things happen, this is real life. This wasn't planned.
Exactly, so.
Hope it was nice. Excellent, well, going to take a break and have some dinner, move all of my equipment back into my studio, and then I will be back a little bit later with a gaming stream.
Yes, and who knows, maybe I might as well. I haven't decided yet. But yes. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, cheers. Thank you for joining us. We're going to enjoy some of this food off screen.
Oh, I'm empty.
You'll just have to take our word that it's good. I know it's good, so.
Yeah, we'll let that develop for another half hour or so. And, well, it's nearly 7:30, so it's nearly my normal starting time, but I'm going to take a break, move some stuff, and we'll be back. But thanks, guys. We will see you next time.
Alright. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Happy cooking.
Don't just think your business is protected when your barista cares more about his socials than your customers' safety. No, you are. With GIO's public liability insurance up to $20 million cover.
Oh, 'cause I'm missing an eye. Right. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Kind of.